was the last time you saw me with a wheelbarrow full of new plants to put in the ground? It's been a really long time because I've been a good girl and haven't been buying plants recently. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in growing zone 8B and we are in southeastern North Carolina. Last time I took you guys around for a garden tour, we were standing in my front yard by my peninsula garden, which is this one we're in right now. And I said, oh, it looks so messy. I just felt very unhappy with it. Overgrown, weeds, all those things. Plus, I was lacking the structure that I wanted. I didn't have a good flow of color, all of that. So this morning I started weeding, I started deadheading. I did all of that with no camera involved, just kind of had my cup of coffee and went through and got some things cleaned up. So now we can do the fun part together. I got a bunch of new stuff. I want to show you what I got, and then we are putting it all in the ground to make this peninsula garden fabulous. If I had to say what my favorite kind of flower is, do you know what it would be? One that's on sale. That's right. If I could get it on sale, that's my favorite, unless someone gave me something awesome. But here's some things that I picked up scouring all of the local garden centers and stuff for 4th of July sales. So by the time you see this, it's after 4th of July weekend, but I've made a little collection for myself based on sales items. So I got myself some coneflowers. Yes, this one came with one broken one, but it's absolutely fine because it's got so many buds on it. I am looking to do a little cluster of coneflowers up here in the peninsula garden that I hope are going to serve as like a drift of them. My best performers in terms of coneflowers are either your standard ones or the sombrero ones. I didn't find any sombrero ones on sale today, so we're going with the standards. Let me tell you what colors I picked up. This one is called Artisan Red Demure. Oh my gosh, I need reading glasses, I think. This one is Artisan Yellow Ombre. Now, I don't know if there's going to be an ombre effect of the colors on these petals. It's not looking like that, but if it says ombre in the name, sounds real good to me. This one's not yellow. This one is Sunseeker's Tequila Sunrise. It actually has a little bit more orange and pink, and I almost feel like this one should be called ombre because I see some other color coming out of the center there. So these all looked gorgeous from Home Depot. One more, a duplicate of the first one. I got them because they were on sale and looked super healthy. I mean, no black spot, no like wilty, they look strong and tough. So these are the ones I got from Home Depot on sale. Now look, I'm not just about the big box garden centers. I will go to all of them and see who has what I want. Now these coneflowers, I actually have 3. These 3 pots of coneflowers I got from another little place. This is on Market Street in Wilmington, you guys. It's like the one in front of the bowling alley that's out seasonally. They're having a sale right now. Well, it's for 4th of July too, so I'm sorry, by the time you see this, it's over. But I got these, it was buy 2, get 1 free, which essentially turned me out to be about the same prices that I paid for the ones at Home Depot. So I'm not sure exactly how these are going to be laid out together, but they are all here for pops of sunshine. When you go to the garden center in the spring, you get so excited you can run all over the store and pick up 1,000 items because there's so much there that you want. The vinca flowers. These are annuals, unlike the coneflowers, which are perennials. But when you walk into a garden center right now and you see gorgeous pops of saturated color, vinca may be what you're seeing. So I got a bunch of these, 8 I think, so I can hopefully do like a nice little swoosh around a curve of my bed, something like that. So vinca. Now, this gorgeous baby you've seen before. This is that Blueforia mandevilla. So I had put one into a pot arrangement that I have by my poolside, and it looks fabulous with some pink begonias to highlight the pink in these flower blooms. So then I had put a second one in my DIY garden easel. Well, that one, as I showed you in my last garden walkthrough, that one's got to come out because it is not happy there. So I'm under the impression now that probably the red mandevilla / dipladenia is probably the best performer out of any color I've had before, including the purple. I'm sorry to say, the color is great, but it might not be as resilient in all of the drought and heat tolerance that I need. So I'm taking this one, which was my third that I had never potted up, and I'm going to be putting it into a pot. This baby is gonna go into this flower bed because I want this bed colorful, rich, and full looking. So we're gonna do that too. So this morning, let me just tell you some of the things that I actually did. First of all, if you recognize this garden or see where I am, you know that I have blanket flowers galore. These blanket flowers are such amazing self-seeders that they end up being all over the garden. Well, that's both good and bad. It's great because you want a lot of flowers, but it's not that great when they're kind of taking over. So I had to neaten up some of them and also deadhead those. This is what it looks like when you need to deadhead your blanket flowers. Whoop, there's a bee right in this bloom right here. So they start out with a gorgeous bloom that is like this. Obviously, it's gorgeous and full. Then, we lose our petals. I don't want to disturb the bee. And then we turn to these here. I think, I pulled the whole thing right up. Then we turn to this. Once it looks whitish and it has all little seed pods on it, they just blow wherever they want and they land wherever they want. And then I end up with a gazillion blanket flowers just like this. Deadheading was done today. Weeding was done today. And mainly this area right here where you pretty much see nothing, this is where I want to do the bulk of the planting. It's kind of a center point in this flower bed, but I'm lacking rich color, as I said before. And when people are looking at my garden from the road, I want it to be spectacular. So that's what we're all about today, adding some spectacular into the garden. Before I can get going with my spectacularness, I have a few other things that I need to clean up that I didn't do this morning. For example, this tuft of grass has to go because it's not grass. It's not a decorative grass that needs to stay. And besides that, I have these patches of daylilies that are pretty much done. So I have to cut these stalks, pull up some of these other stalks, and just kind of neaten up this as well. All of those things combined, I think it's gonna make a pretty awesome peninsula garden. We're gonna start with the least fun and junkiest job there is, because quite frankly, I want the backdrop to be what it is when I put the gorgeousness in. You know what I'm saying? So this has got to go. Digging for my drip irrigation line here first because don't need to cut that apart. I gotta put my muscles on for this. All right, so I got that piece of junk out of the back there. The next thing I'm gonna do is get my purple blue mandevilla together, because this way we have all the pieces to our puzzle sitting right here. These are just some clearance pots that I bought today as well. But I have 2 blue pots, matches the same one that I have in the back that I put the purple mandevilla in. So this one's gonna go in here. And in this one, I'm gonna get the one out of the garden easel. Oh my gosh. This is why I don't wear gloves, because you can't work efficiently with gloves. I need my fingertips. Now let's see if I can, oh my gosh, it is so windy today. Yes, I can punch these out with my tool. Now let's go get our other purple plant. Look at this wimpy baby, crying for me to come and get it out, so I'm going to. Here's the drip irrigation line that was in here, so I thought everything was going to be just fine, but no. Okay, so this guy is going to go in this pot with just some extra potting mix. Now, if I'm honest, this one right here is not going to go into a position of prominence. It's not going to just symmetrically flank part of the garden near this one at all, because they look totally different. See, this one started out like this. Makes you feel sad, doesn't it? So what I'm gonna do here for both of these babies is add in my granular slow release fertilizer, and hopefully that helps to keep them fed throughout this gross summer. Ah! Goodness gracious, it'll be a wonder if we can keep anything upright today. We'll add a little more potting soil and water these guys in just a little bit, but now we're ready to rock and roll, beginning to position our new colorful babies inside the Peninsula garden. The wind is fierce today. Hopefully the audio is coming out perfectly. Now comes the garden design. Obviously, I am the type of gardener who is not afraid to move things around. So if I put them somewhere that I don't love, I will move them, and that's okay. But having said that, I'm also very particular about where I choose to put them. I have to make sure things look right in my mind's eye. So I'm going to start putting some pots around and seeing where I feel like the color will show up the best and all of that kind of stuff, and kind of go from there. So bear with me, this is the creative process. So as I'm figuring out placement up there, I'm like, I'm still missing as much impact as I wanted, or I'm not creating as much as I wanted. So I've decided I'm going to shop my yard like I like to do, and I'm gonna take this pot with me. So I have begonias that are in here. They've been living with me for a while at this point. They overwintered, blah, blah, blah. This pot was just in this spot, honestly, because I had a drip irrigation line that was there from last year. So I lazily put this pot in there. Well, now I need it in the front. So I'm gonna move it up in the front. The begonias are one of my favorites because they're just awesome, and they're continual bloomers for the whole season though. Begonias just don't quit on you. So I'm gonna take this pot up, and hopefully more of these warm tones really brings out the color in everything that I purchase. Just so you're aware, the things that I am pulling out that it seems like haphazardly, those are just my very, very plentiful aggressive spreading plants, like the twilight primrose and the blanket flowers. So please do not worry in any way, shape, or form that I am just taking those plants out and they have nowhere to go. There are so many seeds in here of both of those plants that I end up with way more than I can use or even give away, etc. So no worries on that. So now I have a great blank spot here for all these coneflowers to go, and I want them to be arranged like this so they're kind of all mixed up. And we're just gonna see what happens. I hope it looks amazing. I hope it's like, oh, this is so fabulous. It's a beautiful cluster. That's the idea here. So again, I'm just searching for my irrigation line, making sure I don't chop that in half. And otherwise, I'm gonna start putting these plants in little by little so that I make sure I get this pattern right, the one that I've already set up. There it is, there's my line. Good thing I didn't go right into it. By the way, this echinacea itself, it says it's the Cheyenne spirit. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Because even though the nursery where I got it has a great selection of stuff, I have bought things before that have been labeled Cheyenne spirit. And that's that mix of like warm tones, kind of looks like a sunset. That's what that is supposed to be, but we'll see. And here's the ombre. Ooh, I can't wait to see how those flower petals are going to be. So, yellow ombre, I don't know. We'll see about that too. Now I'm just going to water these babies in. What you didn't get to see, which was such an amazing job by me, is on my last little stroke here, I did go right through my irrigation drip line. So you know what that means. I have to go back to Lowe's again and repair that. But in the meanwhile, look at these pops of sunshine. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I want them to look perfectly clean and gorgeous. And then I'm gonna add in the other things I have. So, I had been saying earlier that either standard echinacea or the sombrero line were my two best performers. And it turns out these two are sombreros. So these are rosada, sombrero rosada. So I guess I would be able to tell if the blooms were a little bit bigger. The flower petals almost drape a little bit, and they are a little bit kind of a thicker flower, I want to say. So I probably should have been able to tell the difference. My gorgeous red ones in the back have done awesome for me. So anyway, let's try these rosadas. We have two, and hopefully they're gorgeous up here. This looks so healthy. Every single thing I bought is for full sun, by the way, because my gardens are full sun. So they have to be able to take a little bit of summer abuse, if you will. Last but not least, we are getting these vincas in the ground. So we're gonna do a row of 4, then a row of 3, and that means I have 1 left over for somewhere else, perhaps right here, but this is what kind of looked the best. I really felt like these things all could be bunched together, more or less. And it does say to plant them about 4 inches apart, like the spacing on them can be that tight, so we're going for it. Probably already remember how hot it is in the area where I live. It is so hot and humid right now. I am like, oh my gosh, I feel kind of disgusting. But we are not done yet. We're gonna clip back the stalks of our daylilies. Try not to poke ourselves in the eye. And then the other thing I like to do, and it is so satisfying, is pulling all of the brown dead stalks away from the base of the plant. Oh, because it's like so simple to do, and you clear it out and it just makes such a difference. If your stalks are like super brown like this, you could just lift them up because they're already going to be able to detach very easily from your plant. But if they're only like dying back like these, those are the ones you have to clip. Tossing these to the side. Ah, I clipped a lily off. When you're clipping these and you're like going on and on, it's like, how many plants do I have in here? So all this brown can all come away. All right, so we were in some good luck. I actually had little couplings. That's what it's called when you have a end to end where water can flow through completely. So I had a little 1/4 inch coupling for the drip line. They come in like bags of 10 or 20 or something like that. So I happen to have some. All you do with your drip irrigation is push things in till it fits tightly. No need for any sort of adhesive or tape or anything like that at all. So I did not have to go back to the garden center or anywhere to get these. However, you know what I was thinking? If I was going to go back, I maybe would pick up a different vinca for my garden easel. That might be, oh, hold on, I gotta put on my muscle. And then you just have these little landscape pins that help you to put the hose in place where you want it. Clearly, I do not want it right on top of my plants here. And here's another pin there. Now, my last final step before my full reveal is I'm just gonna spread a bag of mulch over here on top of this new soil I put down. this was going to be a lot of work today, especially in the heat and everything. It's pretty disgusting. However, we got it all done. Daylilies are cleaned up. Blue mandevilla is now potted up in more appropriate pots that hopefully it will thrive in. I added tons of gorgeous color, all in the warm tone family except for the mandevilla, and I am fine with that. If you know me, you know that my garden style is very, very colorful. I don't really theme my gardens with one color scheme ever because I just like too many things that are saturated in color. So that's what we see here. I love all the pops. Now let's just hope that everything does awesome. I hope you found some great garden inspiration today. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Please follow me on social media, and until next time, you guys, happy planting.